We've seen a lot about why we are to fear Yahweh from the point of view that Yahweh instructs us to, that he desires us to, but we still might be saying something to yourself, and I would be shocked if you were, but it's very possible at this point, I'm doing this kind of tongue-in-cheek, you might be saying, okay, I get that Yahweh desires that I fear him, but what's in it for me? I know you shouldn't be saying that, and none of you really would be saying that, but guess what? We have verse upon verse upon verse where he tells you what's in it for you. So not only does he want to tell you to fear him and tell you that it's his desire that you fear him, he wants to give you the carrot to go along with the stick. I mean, in other words, he wants to give you the incentive. Now, I'm sure all of us desire knowledge, especially knowledge of the set apart one, knowledge of our King, knowledge of the Creator. And he says that it's going to begin with your fear of him. Learning to have that reverence, that awe, that wonderment, that respect is going to lead to knowledge. And so let's understand that we're also dealing with a body that has become addicted to what I call Gnosticism, where we're addicted to knowledge, but we're seeking after knowledge from a fleshly point of view. The correct knowledge is going to begin with the fear of him. And then we're going to seek knowledge in a much more balanced and correct approach. And that's where we get disconnected, is our approach is out of balance and our approach is disconnected often. And that's when we end up in these very fringe ideas and fringe, because we're looking for what I've kind of called new doctrinal understanding crack. Okay? And we become addicted to this new doctrinal understanding crack. And it's like crack. I mean, people just, and again, and you know what? Just like drug addiction, you get to the point where what you're doing isn't strong enough. You need to escalate to the next level drug. And so people go to the more weird and bizarre and extreme and the more weird. And so it's all about, I know something you don't know. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. People are seeking after the secret knowledge. And we're going to see that there are some secret things that he's going to reveal to those who fear him. That's actually going to be one of the verses we're going to read. And so understand that it's all going to begin with knowledge begins with the fear of Yahweh. The fear of Yahweh leads to life, and he remains satisfied, and he is not visited by evil. Well, I probably could do a whole teaching just on this verse. The fear of Yahweh leads to life. Very simple, very straightforward. If you fear him, then the things you will do, the steps you will take, the actions that will come forth, the fruit that you will bear will lead to life. Remember the process? We said you fear him, then you walk in all his ways, and you love him, you serve him, and guard his commands. Okay, so that fear leads to that process leads to life. However, he does say in the verse here, as we're reading the whole thing, he says, however, that person remains satisfied. So I want you to take a big caution there. If you're not fearing Yahweh properly, you may end up dissatisfied. And being dissatisfied leads to evil. Okay, he says, and he remains satisfied and he's not visited by evil. But some of us have a problem being satisfied because we crave and we want and we desire. But notice the rest of the verse, though. He says, who do all of this in the sight of the sons of men. In other words, don't hide what you're doing. Don't be afraid what other people are going to say. And you know what they're going to say, but so what? Take refuge in him, because he's got all kinds of goodness and great things laid up for those who fear him and are not afraid of men, is what he's saying. That in other words, that you'll do this in the sight of men because you're fearing him and not them. Now remember, the subtitle to the teaching starting in part 1 was, if you would only fear Yahweh, you would never be afraid again. Just fear him and never be afraid again. So he's saying that right here in the psalm. He's saying, look, how great is all the goodness he's got laid up for those who would fear him and who would do all these things in the sight of men. And so here we are sometimes afraid. I'm afraid, what if my mother finds out? What if my cousin finds out? You don't understand. Every man for generations back is a pastor. I've met families like that. 5-generation pastors, 6-generation pastors. All my brothers, 5 brothers are all pastors. I've met families like this. What are they going to say? I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to fear Yahweh. And I'm going to let him handle it. And when I say I don't care, I don't want to sound callous. Of course I care what they think and I care about them. What I'm saying is I don't care from the point of view of it affecting my decisions. I'm going to do what I'm going to do in the sight of men and let Abba deal with the rest of it. I'm going to do it gently and lovingly and meekly and all those kind of things. The fruit of the Ruach. Okay, you must do it while maintaining the fruit. Stop getting your sowed information from those not obeying his commandments and not fearing him. Amen. Did I hurt anybody's feelings? Did I step on the toes of people that you're all following? Because I have people sending me stuff and I'm listening to their stuff, and then I find out that those people whose stuff they're sending me, and when I find out what they believe, and I go, why are you listening to these people? These people don't fear Yahweh. Now, I'm not saying that automatically means that these people don't have any understanding, but it says here, if you want the secret stuff, go find it from someone who's showing you that they fear Yahweh. And so they're not going to be the ones who are disobediently breaking commandments, because if they feared Yahweh, they'd be keeping commandments. So if they don't, you know what? Why get secrets from somebody who don't know how to do Shabbat and don't know how to keep feasts, don't know how to eat right, the straightforward stuff that doesn't need secrets? Okay, this person doesn't understand basics, but they understand secrets. So I'm going to go seek after them because they understand this deep stuff. Really? Does that make any sense? Okay, so in other words, I'm struggling with my multiplications table, but you should come to me, even though I struggle in multiplications table, come to me to learn calculus. Does that, why would you do that? Okay, you're looking for this super deep advanced understanding, okay, with somebody who is still struggling to do his times tables. I think we need to stop that. So before you get excited about somebody revealing some insight, some esoteric deep knowledge as you go through your Gnostic addiction, why don't you first figure out what that person believes and see how much basic understanding they actually have? Because, now, am I expecting them to be perfect? No. But at least they should know what to do to be perfect. Because a lot of you know what to do to be perfect, but yeah, you're not perfect, you're human beings, but that's okay. But at least you could tell people, if someone asked you, you could tell them what's the thing you're trying to do, you're striving to do. But if they're out there doing these things that are overtly and obviously not Torah observant, not submissive to his instructions, the very simple basic stuff, why would you think that he would give them this deep hidden knowledge? It makes no sense. So let's stop doing that, because I have people sending me all kinds of great esoteric deep understandings from mainstream teachers who don't have the basic understandings. Blessed are all who fear Yahweh, who walk in his ways. There you go. You want to be blessed? He said, to receive blessing or benefit or something of advantage and goodness from Yahweh, he said, blessed are all who fear him, who walk in all his ways. Isn't that the beginning of Deuteronomy 10:12? It says, what is it now, Israel? What does Yahweh want of you? But to fear him and to walk in all his ways. By the way, we have a teaching called Walk in All His Ways. It's 4 parts. You may want to listen to that. He says, you shall eat the labor of your hands, be blessed, and let it be well with you. Let your wife be as a fruit-bearing vine within your home, your sons like olive plants all around your table. Look, so shall the man be blessed who fears Yahweh. Yahweh shall bless you out of Zion and let you see the good of Yerushalayim all the days of your life, and let you see your children's children. Peace be upon Yisrael. So what is all of this saying? Be encouraged, because all these things come from 2 things. The first step, fear of Yahweh, and step 2, walking in all his ways. Remember, we talked about 5 steps in this process. First step, fearing him. Second step, walking in all his ways. And then because you walk in his ways, you realize that his ways bless you. And so you realize how much he loved you to give you his ways. So you fall in love with him. And then you love him, which is step 3. And then because you love him, you want to serve him, which is step 4. And as a servant who loves him, you're going to want to guard his commands.